The Southern queen of calm and class, Rashida, has just broken her silence. What she reveals about Mendeecees will leave you speechless. It isn't just drama. It's dangerous, and it's real. In the world of reality television, drama is nothing new, but every now and then something happens that stops fans cold. Today's story isn't just another love and hip-hop scandal. It's personal, dangerous, and potentially life-altering. It's frightening. This video delves deeply into Rasheeda's reasons for speaking out and what could mean for Mendeecees Harris, his relationship with the industry, and the safety of those involved. From leaked messages to resurfaced interviews, this story has layers, and we're peeling back every one. Under pressure, her business hustle and her no-nonsense demeanor have shocked the industry by speaking out finally about a terrifying death threat connected to Mendeecees Harris. Yes, Mendeecees Yandy's husband is a man whose past is as complex as his present. For years, Rashida Frost has established a brand based on control, elegance, and quiet resilience. Whether she was handling Kirk's public betrayals or launching her successful boutiques, Rashida made it her mission to rise above the mess. She avoided needless feuds, avoided reckless headlines, and concentrated on her business empire. However, fans recently noticed something strange, subtle signs that something wasn't quite right. Continue reading to see who else was dragged into this explosive revelation. When asked about Mendeecees during a fan Q&A on Instagram last month, Rashida appeared tense and distracted. What most people didn't realize at the time was that Rashida had been sitting on something explosive. Behind that composed demeanor was a woman who allegedly received a death threat, which she claims came from someone close to Mendeecees. Before we jump to conclusions, it's important to understand the connection between Rashida and Mendeecees. They aren't just co-stars in the vast love and hip-hop universe. However, Rashida's tone changed recently, and insiders say her trust in Mendeecees was shaken after a private incident that left her shaken. According to sources close to the Frost family, Rashida started receiving disturbing anonymous messages earlier this year, including threats that mentioned her family, her stores, and even her home address. At first, she dismissed them, assuming they were just another troll using a burner account. But things got worse. One message in particular mentioned an old business. When Rashida began to piece together the details of a deal gone wrong, something that only a select few in the industry would be aware of, all the signs pointed to someone connected to Mendeecees' inner circle. She reportedly attempted to contact Mendeecees directly in the hopes of getting clarification, understanding, or even stopping something before it got out of hand, but he responded coldly, dismissively. Some insiders say he flatly refused to meet, while others say he warned her to drop it or face the consequences. Rashida then went silent for weeks, completely disappearing from the public eye. Why is she finally? What exactly did Mendeecees or someone close to him do that made her fear for her life? Behind the glamour of designer clothes and Instagram posts with millions of followers, Rashida has been keeping a darker reality to herself. What she recently revealed in an emotionally charged conversation with a close friend, one that was later leaked online, paints a disturbing picture of how far things spiraled. It all began with what she called the message that made my blood go cold. Rashida, who had already experienced her fair share of hate online, realized right away that was different. The message read, "You think your stores protect you. You think cameras will stop what's coming. Ask Mendeecees if he warned you. One more step, and we will finish this." Let that sink in. Someone was threatening her livelihood and her family and implying that Mendeecees was either aware or possibly involved. That was her breaking point. She stopped filming, skipped public events, and withdrew from social media. She even hired private security for her stores in Atlanta, something she had never done before. Several sources confirmed that she also met with a digital forensics expert to determine the source of the messages, and what they allegedly discovered shocked her. The IP address led to a known associate of the men who had collaborated with him on one of his post-prison business endeavors. Rashida recognized the name right away. and that's when things became even more complicated. Why would someone close to Mendeecees target her? Was it intimidation or retaliation, or was it about something deeper that never made it to air on Love and Hip Hop? When Rashida tried to confront Mendeecees, first over the phone and then through middlemen, she was reportedly met with a wall of resistance. One insider said that Mendeecees' response was chilling. "Tell her to stay in her lane. Has nothing to do with her unless she makes it about herself." That's when Rashida realized silence. Was eliminated a few days later, she posted a mysterious message on her private Instagram story that was only accessible to close friends. "You threaten me? You better finish the job because when I speak, I don't hold back." Fans were perplexed, but those closest to her understood exactly what it meant. And now she's speaking. Rashida says she's coming forward because enough is enough. She hasn't named anyone yet, but she has said that she's keeping receipts, screenshots, voice notes, and even legal documentation. The quiet storm is over, the thunder is coming, but what was the motivation behind the threat? While Rashida has established a reputation for avoiding messy love and hip-hop drama, it appears that behind closed doors, the lines between business and betrayal have long been blurred. According to multiple sources, the entire situation, the threat, and the fear may have started with a secret deal gone wrong. What unfinished business does Mendeecees associate with Rashida, and why? The answer may lie in an old alliance that turned sour and a long-buried rumor that is about to resurface in the future. Franchised Frost Bistro locations, and that's where Mendeecees allegedly came in. Insiders said that Mendeecees approached Kirk and Rashida with a pitch for a high-end fusion restaurant concept to be co-branded under the Frost name. The numbers appeared promising at first, and talks reportedly continued for months before the deal mysteriously fell through in the middle of 2022, according to someone close to the Frost camp. Following her discovery of what she described as inconsistencies in Mendeecees' business proposal, Rashida terminated the partnership. Rumor has it that the financials were murky and that background checks on one of his silent partners revealed red flags, specifically ties to shell companies and tax evasion charges. Although Rashida chose not to go public or publicly criticize Mendeecees online, her quiet departure may have set off a chain reaction. A few months later, anonymous blogs began to circulate reports that claimed Rashida had burned Mendeecees and cost him a significant investment. One post even implied that she leaked sensitive documents to Block. There is no proof that Rashida was involved in the restaurant's licensing approval, but the accusations stuck. Fast forward to the present and combine all of that animosity with the threatening messages, the private silence, and the explosive tension. And suddenly, it isn't just about business. It's about betrayal, bruised egos, and unfinished agendas. This is where things get dark. According to a source close to Yandy, she was incensed when she heard about the alleged threats. Not because she backed them, but rather because she was kept in the dark. Always respected one another, but according to this source, Yandy allegedly confronted Mendeecees behind closed doors and demanded answers. What she discovered is still unknown, but shortly after the confrontation, Yandy unfollowed Rashida on Instagram. There was no public drama or explanation, just a silent digital line drawn in the sand, and fans questioned, was Yandy protecting her man, or uncovering something even she wasn't ready to face? Even the most devoted Love and Hip Hop viewers are now doubting everything. Failed restaurant or a much deeper betrayal that no one is yet discussing, because here's the real deal. Just before going public, Rashida allegedly filed a formal complaint with a private investigator, naming 3 people she believes are responsible for the threats. According to one leak, one of those names is a person Mendeecees once called family. What kind of business partnership turns deadly? And what secret was so damaging that someone allegedly wanted Rashida completely silenced? If there's one thing Rashida Frost has learned from being in the spotlight for more than 10 years, it's to document everything. Everything. It turns out that during this storm of threats, betrayals, and backdoor deals, Rashida might have been playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers. Despite her months of silence, Rashida was allegedly creating a digital archive, a folder full of screenshots, emails, voice recordings, and even video clips that link the threats she received to their source. A close friend who wished to remain anonymous claims that Rashida started keeping track of every suspicious message, call log, and even voice note sent from the burner. But Rashida didn't stop there. In an exclusive interview with a podcast host, who has since confirmed parts of the conversation, Rashida hinted that she has even more damning evidence. She didn't name names but said, "If anything happens to me or my family, y'all know where to look." Even more shocking, one of the voice notes reportedly contains a male voice referencing her boutique location and threatening to shut it down if she doesn't back off. "Don't push me. I have a digital trail, and it's all in a vault." Fans quickly took to Reddit and Twitter to speculate that Rashida was referring to a secret Dropbox or cloud storage folder, which is a common tactic used by celebrities and influencers to protect themselves in high-risk situations. Some even think Rashida may have already given some of this material to legal counsel in preparation for a full-scale legal battle if things get worse. However, this is where things take a genuinely unexpected turn. Earlier this month, Rashida was overheard. "I kept quiet because of him, but now I'm not holding back anymore." Rashida was almost crying when she said, "I kept quiet because of him, but now I'm not holding back anymore." That one line has since gone viral. Is she referring to Mendeecees, to his associate, or to someone else entirely who hasn't been publicly linked to the scandal? Fans noticed that Rashida and Mona Scott Young, the executive producer of Love and Hip Hop, recently started following each other again after a very long time apart. In the meantime, Mendeecees has stayed relatively quiet. His most recent social media posts show him working out, spending time with his kids, and sharing motivational quotes. However, nowhere, not once, has he addressed Rashida's claims, the alleged threats, or the possibility that she is getting ready to tell her entire story, not just online, but on the show, cameras rolling, receipts in hand. Some producers have even hinted at a Rashida-centered special episode to address the controversy and reveal the truth. What happens next? Will Rashida reveal everything she knows to the public? Will Mendeecees defend herself? Or are more names set to be drawn into the fire? The situation between Rashida and Mendeecees has progressed far beyond private threats and quiet tension. What started as a warning message and a botched business deal has turned into a scandal that threatens to expose power players, shake the hip-hop and love franchise, and drag once loyal friendships into war zones of betrayal. The fallout has arrived. Let's begin with Rashida's inner circle. According to sources close to the Frost family, Rashida is now worried about her family's safety rather than just her business. There have been rumors that she recently met with legal counsel to discuss a restraining order against one of Mendeecees' alleged associates, the same one connected to the threatening voicemail, rather than against Mendeecees directly. One insider even asserts that Rashida and Kirk gave digital evidence to a private legal investigator with connections to federal cybercrime units. If this is the case, then the situation is much more concerning, more serious than anyone anticipated. It isn't just a social media feud. It's being handled like a possible criminal case, but Rashida isn't the only one impacted. Recall the unfollow from Yandandi Smith Harris, which has now escalated into a full-fledged offline split. According to a source familiar with the matter, Yandandi feels deceived and caught off guard by both parties, with Rashida not bringing the matter to her directly and Mendeecees allegedly concealing the seriousness of the accusations. Their marriage, which has already been put to the test by previous drama and legal obstacles, is reportedly under additional strain after Yandandi was recently spotted attending an event by herself without her husband or her trademark smile. Fans are speculating. Could this controversy cause a rift in the Harris family? Could Yandy, who is known for her unwavering loyalty, finally be at her breaking point. Even more shocking rumors from the Love and Hip Hop production team indicate that it isn't just affecting cast members. It's putting entire storylines and business partnerships at risk. According to reports, sponsors of Rashida's fashion lines and beauty brand are keeping a close eye on the situation, and Mendeecees reportedly missed an opportunity to speak at a youth development event. The most terrifying aspect of the fallout may still be to come, according to a well-placed industry insider. Rashida has not revealed everything she knows, and she is actually purposefully waiting for a legal clearance to release what is being called a truth bomb, a recorded phone call that could reveal who made the threats, what was said, and why. She was always the intended target. If that happens, we're not just talking about one man's reputation being ruined. We're talking about lawsuits, canceled deals, expulsions, and the kind of backlash that makes producers, brands, and even fans turn against you. One executive reportedly stated, "If that recording goes public, we'll be forced to distance ourselves. No one can protect him after that." Rashida has usually been composed in public, but she recently shared an Instagram story that made viewers shudder. "Let the truth hit how it hits. I'll still be standing." It's obvious that she's not running, hiding, or remaining silent. But here's the crazy part. Cast members have now come out. Let me state up front that this is just the beginning of the situation. They claim that there are more names involved, more dubious transactions, and more threats that never made it online. If Rashida's story serves as the impetus, the entire world of hip-hop and love could be upended by a shocking upheaval that no one anticipated. This isn't just a beef. It's not a publicity stunt, and it's far from over. The actual query today is, whose